Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Royce and Pell Mel. Welcome to my channel. This is part 15 of the build, and you didn't really miss too much. I just put this on off camera, and I need to do the right side. Oh, wow. Interesting. Look how that's bent. That's first, then I've gotten, received, because that was in that was in here. So that's crazy well, I could probably, hopefully I can bend it back. That's crazy. Yeah, I should be able to get that bent back. But I just want to be careful because it's die cast Zamac type of metal or whatever. I don't really want to snap that. But I did put one tail light together off camera. I can do the other one on camera. Not a big deal. Looks pretty good though. It even has the little Hella logo there, and they have the screws, the chrome heads of the screws painted in. I don't know how accurate the tan rubber gasket is, so I'm not too sure about that. I think these were originally from a tractor, I believe. I thought I read that somewhere a long time ago, or Fiat maybe. But there they are up close. I noticed in my last video, my cell phone camera was jumping all over the place. So hopefully it doesn't do that as much this time. But my cell phone seems to be giving higher quality video than my actual video camera. So I kind of went back to just using my cell phone. So all you have to do for this is, let's see, this will be the amber will always be pointing to the outer side. So I got to make sure I get that right. And then chrome goes in, and I'm not gluing these just in case, because the way the LEDs will be going in there, I don't want to glue anything just yet with them, just in case. Just got to get a screw here. I only need one. Of course, I've picked up 4 of them there. But I don't think I'm going to put the screws running on the top side there. I think I'm going to super glue these on to the frame. There's some things I don't care for with the back of the frame, how they did some of this, as opposed to some of the other areas I didn't really notice as much. But I wish all the screw heads were more hidden. They could have easily put them down, I think, down underneath perhaps. I don't really like how they did that. Well, that's not even, there we go. I was going to say it's not even popping through. That was my own fault. I don't want to over He-Man it there and crack the plastic, but so they'll go like that. And I'm just not crazy about all the big screw pockets, but there's really not much I can do about that. And then this one will be mounted here. I don't think I'm going to use I think I'm just going to super glue them on. I don't really want the big screw heads on the top there, because I think they're going to be pretty noticeable. I mean, we already have these other screw pockets, which are pretty obnoxious in my opinion, but I guess there's maybe not a whole lot to be done about that. So, boy, this is really bent up, this one, compared to the other. I don't know what happened. This one's off by, what, 1/4 inch. So it's AM screws for that. Get these guys out of the way. I don't know. I just wish they could have did a little better job. I guess it would be hard to have the screws coming up from the bottom, but I don't know. I'm not real keen on. Yeah, I think they could have ran them up. I don't know why you couldn't have run them up from the bottom, but if you were planning on getting rid of all these screw heads on the back here, I think it would take quite a while to do that, but you could achieve that, I'm sure. Or just redo a lot of this bracing with the 2.5 millimeter styrene rod. Some of this bracing, in my opinion, is actually a little overscaled. From what I'm looking at photos, it seems to me like it's overscaled a little bit. So far, starting off part 15 has been good so far, everything I've worked on. Not that I've done a whole lot off camera, but everything seems to be pretty decent for the most part so far. Don't want to jinx it by saying anything else, but I think it'll be all right. Definitely gonna have to go back and put some black paint on top of these screw heads. Try to hide the scratches on them. And oh, is that supposed to? Maybe that is supposed to go in there like that. No, they have it. I wasn't sure if this was supposed to go in there, but they do show that. They show that as being separate there, but man, that is bent there. I did not get that. I did not get that very straight. Bends pretty easily though. So let me take a look and just to make sure. But are they supposed to be popped in there? It doesn't look like it. Because there they show it not going in there. Make sure I don't have any screws stuck in the pages there. So there they're just going over, which I already did this one. The other side for pack 49, did 48 and 49. So next would be that bottle would be going in right in here and that brace. So I got to figure out how I want to. This doesn't really seem very secure. Oh no, I didn't finish screwing that in, I guess. And I still need to add this other one here, but I wasn't going to slide that in there. I started to try to drill the broken screw out, but it didn't pan out very well. It's not that big of a deal. I don't really care. I think I can get it fixed up then. All right, just wanted to give a quick little update. I mounted the upper frame with, I don't know, 8 or 9, 10 screws, whatever it was. And include the rear taillight receptacle panels, whatever you want to call that, onto the frame, and they're drying right now. I started making the bar for the reservoir for the transmission overflow bottle, whatever. So it's just a 3.2 millimeter styrene rod with 2.2 millimeter rod in the inside, the hollow styrene. So this should work fairly well for fitting in over here on the side. There's 2 pockets that they need to go into. So I'll just have to paint it satin black here then, but not a huge deal. So it's getting there right now. Took some baling wire and kind of wired up the prop rod because that got kind of annoying because I wanted to keep flopping open. And so I definitely recommend putting a piece of wire on there just so it doesn't annoy you like it did me. So next up in the instructions is routing the 2 red LEDs to the brake lights in the back, or tail lights, I should say, in the back here. So they do give you some black adhesive strips, again, like they did earlier. You can see them back in my tray back here. So they're just like strips of like stickers basically that you can peel off to mimic like electrical tape, I guess. Um, I don't know. I didn't think they were that great. It didn't seem very sticky. So that's why I ended up in some of the shots you might be able to see I used like really, really fine copper electronic wiring wire. You can kind of see it there's some of it. I used some for the spark plug wires too. I think I'll go ahead and try to get this fixed up here, this bar, and mounted. All right, I was looking here at some reference photos and the rubber gasket going around the tail lights apparently was like an almond color, I guess you want to say. Definitely was not black according to that picture. Sure looks light, like a whitish, whatever, French vanilla colored gasket. So I was curious about that. So I painted that brace and I'm just waiting for that to dry, and then I could probably mount that. Once again, there's a pretty decent photo there showing a bottle just rubber strapped to the frame. So that's pretty cool to see. So I fit that bar in and it was a perfect fit, which was awesome. And then just kind of loosely routing some of the wiring or trying to figure some things out with the wiring at this point, and I had to get the that transmission overflow ball. I just had to kind of loosely, it's just loosely laying in there trying to get an idea of the fit of it. Quite the jungle gym. It's very tight getting that bottle in there. I had to use tweezers and kind of like, I can't get my fingers even in there. So it is a lot tighter than I thought it was going to be. So hopefully I should be okay routing some of the wiring. I just got to get some things figured out with this bottle, and should be on my way to getting past this stage, I'm hoping. But it's getting there. Looking pretty cool. That's where we're at so far with it on the table. All right, I got the wiring all situated for the two tail lights, and I took semi-gloss black paint and painted the white part of the wire black just so it kind of blends in better. I did that on both sides and then tried to reach back as far as I could as it runs up along the sides there, and also did the white stripe in black. So it kind of is definitely a little more hidden. So I think that looks pretty decent. Next up, I need to add these two braces, and I'm going to probably have to make two nut heads out of hex rod because I think they'll look a lot cooler. And the thing is with them two braces that are silver there that you can see, what I'm finding out when I look at photos, I always thought something looked funny with this one I looked at before, this frame. It's missing the triangular bracing in the corners here. And this over on this side is actually where the chassis number would be for that, for the particular car. Each one would have 9170 whatever would be right there. So I think I'm going to have to build this out in the corners with some white styrene. Might actually even have some black styrene here, but either way, I'm going to have to do something with that because that's also kind of like, I don't know why they have the webbing here. I guess just that doesn't look real accurate there, but maybe that's just how they did the die cast for the to be able to have the bars. I don't know. It doesn't look real accurate to me there, but obviously we have the big screw pockets, which there's not much I can do there with it without getting carried away and changing everything, which I don't really. I want to try to keep this a little more fun, this build. So I'm not too worried about that, but I think I definitely might be adding the bracing in there. So here we can see a brand new 917 and you can see how scratched up the frame is even on a brand new car. Clearly installing these motors, really hard to keep that frame from getting scratched up. But you can see that this is the same car, and it's photographed in several places. But anyway, I wanted to talk about that bracing in the corner right here, which you can see that is the chassis plaque right there. That would have the chassis number on there, and then we can see the bracing there, and the nut right there with the bolt that ran down through. Now that one does look like the cross braces are painted black, but on most of the later cars, it is just like a polished aluminum color, which I'll show here in a second. Now this is a 71 because it has the roll bar, but you can see there and there is the other brace, and that runs back to the corner, and there's a better picture here of how the chassis number is applied, if I can find it. Basically it's just a placard welded on. And of course now I can't find it, but there's a good shot here, and there it's the black paint is rubbed off where the number would be, but you can see the triangular bracing in the corners. That's the long tail. Here is the author of that book I have mentioned prior in the earlier videos. Gordon Winslow, I believe is his name. That's the author right there. He was on the John Wire team, so he knows what he's talking about in the books. The one book, I guess I should say. Now I can't find what I wanted to show. But here's also a shot. You can see where the black paint is rubbed off, where the chassis number would be located. I can't find it now. No, it might be right in here actually. But you can see there again, chassis number is that silver rectangle. So I'll probably duplicate that. Interesting there, you can see like the almost chrome, the coil, the distributor coils there. So maybe this is what I was looking for, this picture here, you can see it there. Anyway, I'll get back to figuring out about making the corners, duplicate that bracing. Alright, so I decided to go ahead and fill some of these screw holes with some putty, and I think in the long run it's going to look a heck of a lot better, I think, once I get some satin black paint on there. I made the corner bracing and the placard out of a credit card there, where the chassis number will go. The welds are mated from milliput, and I'm hoping that cures okay, because my milliput is fairly old and it seems kind of funky, so hopefully it's okay. We'll find out, I guess, but I think it'll look pretty cool to mimic the really crappy welds that were found on these cars. If you look here, I forgot I had this book up already laying in the background earlier. I could just show this for chassis number 42, which is the Martini Longtail. You can see a lot of the rough welds, and the way that bracing is in that corner there is a really good shot of that. So I'm probably going to mimic that if I can. And as you can see, they were fairly crude, the welds on a lot of these frames, at least from what I've always seen. They were absolutely horrendous, some of the welds. But but I guess that was the technology that they had at the time, perhaps. I don't know. Kind of go with that look. I think it's going to look pretty cool when it's done. Had to get the prop rod here up and out of the way. For whatever reason now it doesn't even want to, here it goes. As I say, it doesn't even want to fold out now, but that's that. So, pretty cool. It's getting there. So if I do, where's that brace? Over here somewhere, if I don't stab myself. Like I just almost grabbed the end of the X-Acto blade. I'm going to have to shorten this tube up though, because I'm going to be going from the new tongues there. If I make a new bracketry there, which from what I was looking at, I'm going to have to, a lot of the pictures, it does show the same brackets it's on like car number 42. So it'll go over to right here, that tab. So I had super glued this one in a while. I'm just going to make some bolt heads there out of hex rod. I forgot to do that. I need to do that next, I guess. All right, so this is where I'm at the page 234. And next they want me to mount the back tires and rims. So I'll probably do the fronts right away at the same time. So it took me a little bit to dig out. You need these plastic bushings. I'd set them off to the side, and you need screws. And I need to finish the knockoff nuts there to match the one at the bottom here that I'd done back at Christmas time. So I'm going to get a piece of double-faced tape or something to attach the other three, and maybe I'll do that on camera, weather knows and whatnot. For whatever reason, when I got the power hook back up here, I no longer have any sound capabilities. The horn doesn't work anymore, and the engine start, you can hear the speaker kind of click, but for whatever reason, that's it. So I don't know what's up with the soundboard. All of a sudden doesn't work. So I got the dump hose routed there for the plastic bottle. Pretty happy with everything so far. Here's where I'm at with scratches and whatnot on the frame. So it's getting there now. It's definitely feeling like I'm moving along at this point now. Did do some light weathering. You can kind of see on the edges of the black bracketry there, or the L brackets, whatever you want to call that, where it sort of boxes the lights in. Did some very light, just using gunmetal gray, rubbed on the edges. And but looking at photos, these cars were definitely very hard to maintain without getting the frame scratched up, even on brand new cars. Like I think I'd shown this picture here, and this is a brand new 69 car, and you can see all the scratches all over everything, especially the crossbars. So it gives you an idea that they definitely would not take long at all to get scuffed up. Pretty happy with everything so far. I just need to mount these wheels and tires, which I could probably do on camera. I'd love to know what happened to the soundboard. That kind of has me disappointed. So I'm not sure what's up with that. I checked all the wiring and everything seems okay with the wiring. So that sucks. Not sure what happened to my fan. I think the fan must have fell off again and went somewhere. But pretty happy. Getting that bottle in there was a real treat. I should have probably mounted that to that bar before I glued that styrene bar in there, but it's okay. All right, so when mounting these wheels and tires, there is a tiny key spline here that has to line up with the key notch on the brake rotor, or otherwise it's not gonna mount right. Like there, it doesn't feel like it's going on. Let's put that at the 12 o'clock position. And they're not easy to get on. I tried earlier off camera and they do not. There, that one went right on, but they do not always cooperate. So I gotta get, see, every one of these little bushings is in a freaking little Ziploc bag. Just this is just crazy to me how every little one of these things is. I don't get it myself, but whatever. I just don't understand. Seems very wasteful. But I guess it does help to keep them from getting lost. Didn't stop me from losing them, of course, but eventually I found them. So we need one of them. We need a M screw. MM, I should say, which is a pretty hefty size screw compared to what we're used to using on the rest of the build. All right, so we'll do the next one. Make sure this is at 12 o'clock. Can't really see what I think it grabbed the rotor. Can't really tell. Feels like it's on. Let's check this one. Get that out of the way. It's not turning the rotor though with it. Well, I think it was on. Hard to tell. Another one of them. Come on. Butterfingers. Now they don't exactly roll. Okay, let's do the front. I'm gonna have to fix that bar there. All right. Got our two bushings. Make sure we get that goes there. Now we'll go on that side. It's screw for all 4 corners. All right, so put this rotor at 12 o'clock. Last time we get to see the rotors, because I don't think we'll ever really be able to see them anyway. The only thing I don't like is how the rotors don't exactly center. They don't really center very well. Like, you kind of have to try to, there we go, lift that up a little bit as you're getting it together. Sometimes this is where when the screwdriver is magnetized, it actually goes against what you're trying to do because it's fighting me. All right, do the other corner. Spline at 12 o'clock. Come on. See, this is where when it wants to drop down is frustrating because there we go. It's like it didn't seem like it was on there. Yeah, my steering. That just fell right off my switch gear. Because that whole thing wants to move. Lovely. All right, I'll have to put that back on then. I feel like stuff has not been going my way here lately with this kit. That completes the picture there. Looking pretty cool. All right, so next up, get this out of the way. So we already did that crossbar, so we can move ahead here. All right, so we're going to be starting at the bulkhead, and I think that's where I'm going to leave off for part 15, and that'll be part 16 will be the interior and the bulkhead and all that fun stuff. That's where I'm going to leave off at for this part. Actually, I could do these here yet, and then I think that'll be it for part 15. Let me go find some double face tape or something to mount those on. All right, so trying to match the one I had done at Christmas time, and I don't remember how I did it, but I think I'm on the right track. But I'm using a fine sanding stick and kind of sanding off some of the that one's almost too much. Let's go with this one's 500 grit. Sanding off a little bit of the metal look on the nut part here, and gives a pretty cool look. I don't think they really need to be completely repainted. That sanding stick, the other one I think was 400 grit, but almost seems like too much. So all I was doing was just kind of nipping at the edges there a little bit. That gives a pretty decent look. And then next step was, I think this is the one I did at Christmas time here. Put that one on the left side. These two I just did off camera. That one you can see is not really dry yet. And I just used Tamiya black panel line accent color. I think originally this one I had done with the gray, the dark gray, which works pretty well too. So I was just kind of highlighting that. Since it's all one piece, I kind of trying to get it so it mimics, it looks like several pieces. Like there, if you put too much in, you can always get some of it to like a capillary effect and get it to draw back out on a tissue. But I just kind of dirtied up a little bit, and can be removed if it's not enough or too much. But that will dry and look pretty convincing when it's done. I think this one here I forgot to sand the edges, but I started doing, let's close this so I don't spill it. That'll be my luck. I will definitely knock it over. I think this one I forgot to add and sand the edges. The chrome, or it's not really chrome, but the metal finish, the metal look finish that they have on is actually not too bad. That's why I wanted to be able to utilize some of that. So this one, yeah, I've done that one already. But that's it for that. I will probably have to go in. See, once it dries, you can see, like once it starts drying, it definitely, you'll know if you need to go back again or not. I just wanted to try to make sure it semi-matched this one here. But I think they're looking pretty good. And that's that. And I'll let that dry, and I probably will not mount those on the, they're just pressure fit in to the wheels. I doubt I'll do anything with that until maybe the very end. So I think that's it for part 15. Hope you guys liked that, and everything went fairly a lot better on part 15 than it did. 14 was horrendous for me. Just everything I touched seemed to go to hell in a handbasket. So I think this all looks good. Everything looks good. I think that's it. If you like this type of video, be sure to give me a like, thumbs up, whatever. Share if you want to share it to any friends or anyone else into models. I really appreciate if you guys would subscribe. There's plenty of you guys who comment. It looks like a whole bunch of you are not subscribed to the channel. I would really appreciate that. It's free and you can't beat free. And hit the bell for notifications. And until next time, I will see you guys later. You guys have a good night. I will see you in a few days. All right. Have a good night.